is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomenl.com.
Hey now, Sean Zalmanoff and Kellen Vaughan coming to you hot with this edition of your Next Level Loan Officers podcast, the number one podcast for loan officers by loan officers. KV, how are you today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. It's a good day to be in the studio.
It is a good day. I'm fired up if you can't tell. And I'll try not to scream too loud into the microphone. But we have something very simple for you today. Kellen, we've talked to a lot of people recently who are more scared to do one thing than they are to go broke. And it's baffling to me. So first of all, friends listening, there is some amazing green pasture ahead of us. Personally, now that we're at the spot that we are in the year and rates haven't come down as expected, most of you should actually hope that they don't come down until fall. And the reason being is if you do some simple tasks to do enough loans to pay your bills, the nails in the coffins that are going to be put in to many originators, some companies that you would like to see go by the wayside, are going to be immense come fall time. And that means when rates do come down, which we know they will sometime in the next 8 to 18 months substantially, you're going to print money. And I know it doesn't feel like that now, but you're going to.
Show me the money, Sean. Show me the money.
So this mysterious thing that you have to do.
Is it complicated?
Yeah, I mean, my wrist is a little bit sore from mountain biking for the first time last week. So that does make it a little bit complicated. Okay. But I do have my right hand, and even with my left hand, it doesn't hurt too bad to do this task.
Okay. All right. I'm with you.
Get your minds out of the gutters, by the way, people. Like, everybody's got your little jokes right now. But hey, what you need to do is you need to pick up the damn phone.
We just got the explicit warning put on this podcast, by the way.
If you do not, I didn't say any of the other words that I was thinking.
Wait. Picking up the phone, Sean? That's your big aha?
It's the difference in many a loan officer listening right now. Having loans in 3 months or being a smiling people greeter at Walmart in 3 months.
You know what, Sean? Let me say something. Just when I think you can't possibly be any smarter, you go and pull a stunt like this. I think this is genius. Let me tell you why. We've been preaching what for the last 6 months? Back to freaking basics. Do what other loan officers are unwilling to do. And I'll tell you, as somebody who talks to a lot of loan officers, we coach a lot of loan officers, the number one thing they don't want to do is pick up the phone. In fact, you made an allusion to it. You alluded to it earlier, and you said they'd rather go bankrupt, right? That's a true story. I don't even know if we've told this story on the podcast. Maybe we have, but I was sitting with a loan officer recently, and this was in Florida. If you guys can hear sirens in the background, I apologize. But we were sitting in Florida. We were talking, and he said to me, "I just filed for bankruptcy." I said, "Man, are like, this guy's in a good market." I was like, "Are you real? What are you doing?" And he was like, "Well, I'm working." I'm like, "Well, hang on a second. How many phone calls? How many referral partners are you talking to every single day?" I said, "Be honest with me." And he said, "Maybe 3 a week." 3 a week? Let me tell you something. If bankruptcy was looming in my presence, my little finger would be to the bone dialing for dollars, right? That is almost inexcusable. But I think you're right, Sean. The fear of talking and picking up the phone and actually doing that is greater than the pain of failure, than the pain of disappointing your family, than the pain of bankruptcy. That's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy.
Hey, Kellen. So I'm making 4 or 5 calls every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many of them I actually connect with on a daily basis?
3.
Less than 50%.
Okay.
I mean, if I got a transaction or something going on, I mean, shoot, people give me a referral and I call them to update them on the referral, and like they don't even call me back. But it's cool because I'm making the calls, and every week I'm getting more business in, and then I get this random referral from this person that I've called 3 times in the last few weeks and never returned a phone call. But oh yeah, Billy Bob told me to call you. It's amazing. Like they say you're amazing. I'm like, dude, couldn't you tell Billy Bob to call me back?
Right. But who cares? I don't need the call back. Just send me the deals. Yeah.
So, Scott Thompson, long time Next Level member, he changed my mindset on this a few years ago. Now, he was talking about following up with leads, but he said, Sean, do you know what the number one objective is when you leave a message for somebody? And I mean, what's the number one obvious wrong answer?
To get them to call you back.
Yes. He said, and that's what I told him. He's like, great wrong answer. He's like, the number one objective is to set the table so they pick up the phone the next time you call. And so that's really, it's changed my mindset with all this so much. And I mean, if you think about it, dude, you're in a fight with your brother, your mother, your wife, your husband. Like you're sending text messages, or you're just not communicating. How much different is it when you pick up the phone and you call somebody? Yeah. And so you just have to do these simple tasks. I was talking to an agent who actually, she picks up the phone every time I call, and we have a great relationship. I actually just sent her, I write a couple of handwritten notes a day. That's something for a different podcast. But she called me at a little before 5, sometime around 5 this last Saturday. And I was on the other line. I was doing something, but I called her back right away. She's like, "Oh, so sorry to bother you." I'm like, no big deal, because, when we've talked about this last podcast we did, Kellen, we kind of broke down the 5K guarantee, how I call, how I do the video and send all that stuff afterwards.
Yep.
A client that I had referred her was putting in an offer, $270,000 purchase. Again, that's jumbo in my market. And so she was like, "Hey, can you do your thing?" And so I like, cool. I did my thing. She's like, "Oh, so sorry to bother you." And so actually I sent her a note on Monday, and it was the first handwritten note of the week. And her name's Sabina. And I was just like, "Hey, Sabina, like, it was really great to get your call on Friday or on Saturday night, because, there's so many times when somebody sees a phone ring, you're like, oh my God, not that person." Right. It's kind of why I quit my old job and opened my own company, but we don't need to go into that here. And but like I wrote a message. I was like, like, you can call me anytime. Like, we just have such great teamwork going together. And that was just one little tiny example. But so I called the listing agents. I sent my little, she sent over the pre-approval. I sent the video afterwards so she could see it and share it with the sellers. And by late Sunday night, that was under contract. And the other thing that she told me was, "Hey, like, it's great you send the video and do all that, but I've had an agents like that. But she's like, I get feedback every single time that you do that." She was like, that almost no other lenders call the listing agent, and that they actually really like it, because the other thing that I'm doing a lot of times, I mean, I know loans better than probably everybody listening to this program right now. I'm a nerd. It's cool. Like, it's okay. I don't want to, if you know loans better than me, we don't need to go toe to toe. I'm just saying, I know them better than most of you. And I'm also a nerd with numbers. So I convince people to put down less money, go buy an S&P index fund, because, they're going to want to kiss me on the lips in 30 years when they retire with more money than what they had for their entire house is worth, in addition to owning a house too. And so, like, well, a lot of times my pre-approvals are coming over with 5% or, 3% down because they're first time home buyer. And we can work out something great for them in that scenario. And if a listing agent's getting an offer and it says 5% down and they get an offer with 20% down, they're going to take 20% down all day in this market. My market's still a 8 to 20 offer market on almost every single house.
Yeah.
But when I pick up the phone and call them and explain why, tell them, hey, they do have more funds to put down, or they do have this, or they do have that, or here's why we're doing it this way, then all of a sudden all that goes right out the window. It's a novel idea, isn't it?
Well, it is. And I'll tell you what, I think there's a generation of people, certainly younger than you and me, but let's say the under 30 crowd. And I really believe they're phone adverse in a lot of ways. Maybe, yeah, that's probably the right age. 10 years. Yeah, that's probably the right, under 30, like these people don't pick the phone up for nothing. Right. I mean, they really refuse to do it. And it's a generational thing, right? They've grown up in the world of the text message. But you and I didn't. And we know the power of hearing the voice and the power of the conversation. So again, just to kind of recap what you said, I think this falls in our theme of back to basics, back to good old fashioned lending. Nobody here is swimming in refinances. We're all out there working. We're working harder to get every possible deal. And so you're going to have to put in some work. You're going to have to put in the time, the energy. I don't like taking calls at 5:00 on a Saturday, but I do it. Right. And we've got a lot of systems and things in place to help with that. But, that's what we're there for. And every deal counts. Every deal matters right now. And that's a big deal. So I love what you said, Sean. I think it's not only important in business or in our mortgage business, right? Pick up the phone, make a call. I think you're right too, as far as personal and just, generally communicating better. When you hear somebody's voice, you hear the inflection, you hear the tone, just makes a difference. Good, bad, or indifferent.
We were just talking about F3 the other day, Kellen, and a buddy that I was working out with this morning, he was talking about it. He led the beat down today, the workout group. And at the end of it, his mom is ill and has had a few ailments recently. And so he has 2 sisters, and the siblings have all been having to stay with mom. And it's a lot of work, and they've been rotating through on that. Well, his 2 sisters are not on speaking terms. Like they'll text message and hate message and all of that. And he mentioned this morning, he's like, yesterday I got them all on the phone and, they didn't agree, but now they've at least started talking. Right. And so, like you said, man, with all of these things in our life, guys, make a commitment. 4 calls, 5 calls. I mean, Brian Tracy wrote a book on it, Eat the Frog, man. If it's so uncomfortable for you, and the whole Eat the Frog concept is from like 2,000 years ago from Stoicism is where that was foundationally, I think, written for the first time. Anyway, do the things that make you uncomfortable first. Get it done, knock it out, make your life easy, and close business so you don't have to file bankruptcy, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I love that, man. I kind of organize my day with a reward system. Works for me, doesn't work for everybody, but there's things in the afternoon I like to go and do. Maybe it's pick my kids up and go to the driving range, or go to the batting cages, or go home, just hang out, just be out of the office, go for a run, whatever it is. And so I basically, stack all the stuff that I don't want to do first thing in the day, right? And I knock it out. And then my reward is getting to do what I want to do in the afternoon. And that's so true for a lot of things, right? Dave Ramsey, who I'm not a huge fan of, but I do like a few of the things he says. What does he say? Live like nobody else today, so you don't have to live like everybody else later. It's like, just do the things that are required today so that you can have those rewards later on, whether it's later in the day, later in the week, the month, the year. Hopefully you're still with us here in 9 months when the market does turn, and you can reap those rewards because you put in the work today.
Yeah. So one other quick story. I've mentioned it maybe once or twice, but I had a listing agent or a buyer's agent. They called me a few weeks ago. It was a referral from another agent, and they asked me if I was taking on any new realtors, because their guy went out of business, or left the business. And, you know, the thing is when you're making these calls and, you know, they're quick, they're easy. I mean, if it's 30 a week and 5 a day, my gosh, if you even got a hold of everybody, it'd be 30 minutes a day maximum. And a few weeks from now, a few months from now, there's a good chance their guy's going to go out of business. Their company's going to go out of business, and you're going to be there to pick it up. And I don't say that to be doom and gloom. I say that because there's so many people just not doing the activities. So if you do the activities, there's a lot of business there for you.
A ton. Yeah. There's still deals being done. You just got to go grab them. Love it. All right. Well, thank you, Sean. Great topic today. This was a quick hit. You know, sometimes you just need a little reminder, a little kick in the pants to remember what is required to get the results desired. I don't want to see anybody listening to this podcast filing for bankruptcy or having any issues. There's plenty of deals out there to be successful. Let us know how we can help. Listen, you can always jump on over to becomenl.com. Check us out. Hey, we do some coaching over there. So if you need some help, you want a little guidance, hit us up. Let us know. We'd love to help you. Otherwise, tune in, catch the next Level Loan Officers podcast. We'll see you.
Peace out.